Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's gather around. This Monday's episode is about how to become clitorate. Yeah, clitorate. Not illiterate, clitorate. Or we can just say the clit whisperer, because everybody out there, whether it be a penis owner or a vulva owner, wants to understand how to love the clit. And I'm gonna tell you a few different ways on how to love that little bulb of yours or of your partner's. But first, if you are new here and you haven't done so already, what are you waiting for? It is subscribe time, and smash that little thumbs up button and give this video a like. And the reason for you to like this video is because I'm goddamn putting my ass on the line here to bring you guys content just like this so that I can help educate yourself and others out there. Oh my gosh, my nipples are itchy. But yes, that is exactly why you like it, so that I can bring you more content and then you can show YouTube that y'all actually like to watch me. Because they're out there thinking that nobody wants to watch Lil Miranda talk about sex. But really, everybody does want to hear me talk about sex, because I say it how it really is and I don't sugarcoat shit. Am I right? Am I right? Okay, I'm done rambling. Let's get started into tip number 1. Shit, I lied. I have one more thing to say before we get started. But I am here to remind you that this is pleasure focused. If you orgasm from any of these tips and tricks, then that's just a lovely bonus. Sit back and enjoy the ride and enjoy the show of your partner, not this video. And remember, communication is stimulation, so communicate. So here we are at number 1. Number 1 is something I like to call layering. Now, if you have a partner or you yourself have a sensitive clitoris, this is for you. So this is when you give the clit indirect stimulation. So that means that you have a buffer in between, aka most likely underwear. If you want to directly stimulate the clitoris through a barrier kind of layer technique, a really great way is using your thumb and your index fingers on either side of the labia and kind of rubbing back and forth. So that's like sandwiching the clit in between. You got a clit sandwich and you're like the Salt Bay of clits. So you have the clit in between and you have your labias and you are slowly rubbing. And that is a really good technique, like I said, if you are sensitive. Number 2 is one of my very favorites and is soon to be one of your favorites, and it's something that we like to call edging. Now, edging I have a whole nother video on, but right now I'm just gonna break it down into layman's terms. So essentially, you want to do what you do, like stimulate yourself to the point of almost achieving climax and backing off. Completely either stop doing the motion or switching the sensation. And then you wait for everything to subside. That climax kind of comes down because you didn't climax. And then you're going to introduce that stimulation again, hit your peak point right before you're about to climax and pull away. That is called edging. So you're coming up right to that edge and this is climax point, and then you're gonna stop. So it comes down. So what that does is it helps build up those sensations to give you a full body orgasm. Now you can simply just suspend the orgasm as many times as you can, or until you cannot even control it and you have the largest orgasm of life. Now, that is exactly why it is my favorite, and that is exactly why it's gonna be your favorite. Number 3 is something that almost everybody loves, and it is the tease. So the tease doesn't just mean dancing around the clitoris. In this case, you're going to use all of your erogenous zones. You're going to skim over the top of the thighs, maybe go over top of the underwear, maybe a little bit of nipple play or neck play. It's almost like you're doing like a gentle tickling sensation. Yes, you can go around the labias and over top the underwear and la-di-da-di-da, all that stuff. But the reason why we do that is because it usually leads to a more intense orgasm. There's effing hair stuck in my lipstick or chap fucking, I can't swear, sorry. Now, number 4 is something that we watch happen every day, and it's the Earth orbiting around the sun. However, your Earth is now your fingers and the sun is now the clitoris. So it's kind of like doing indirect stimulation again. You're going to do larger circles going around the clitoris and then slowly dial in. Now, pressure is something that I always talk about because everybody or lots of people like to use too much pressure. It is literally a gentle pressure. So you see how delicate I'm moving around in circles? I'm not like pushing in like this. I'm not rubbing really aggressive, especially when you're just starting out. This is when that line of communication becomes really, really important to know your partner's loves and dislikes. So maybe they are more sensitive, so you have to take it slow. Maybe they want a gradual increase, or maybe they are somebody who wants it like super, super aggressive. But for the majority, we are gonna start off really smooth and really slow, almost like you want them to be begging for more pressure. And eventually, the smaller that you go, that will bring you right to your target, and the target is the sun, and that, my friends, is called orbiting. Number 5 is something that every genital owner wants, and it is rhythm. Okay, we don't want like weird crazy 8s that are all over the place, not going in consistent patterns or consistent rhythms. You want something that you can guarantee a good steady pattern, pace, and pressure. It's almost like you're trying to replicate a sex toy, which is literally almost impossible. However, you know how it keeps the same vibration the whole way through. That is what we were trying to recreate with our fingers, tongue, or penis. Or I guess vulva too. So you can do rubbing, circles, figure 8s in a steady pattern. The honey dipping technique is the one that I absolutely love, where it's when you go inside the vaginal canal and grab some of your fluids and then bring it out and then continue doing those circles. Now, so you see how it's a dip and then a pull out and circle. That is like a pause and start method. So it doesn't have to be consistent. It just needs to have the same rhythm. And last but not least, number 6, lube, 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 lube. Would you imagine that? Another video where Miranda talks about lube. Okay, so if you are fingering or if you are doing anything sexual without lube, I'm gonna ask you why. Especially if you own a clit or you are trying to please a clit. What are you doing? The lubrication adds for no chafing, little to no chafing. If you are not using a toy, feel free to use a silicone-based lube if you're having sex in the shower or anywhere with water. Silicone-based lube does not wash away. Also amazing for anal, but today we are talking about the clitoris, and that is not self-lubricating. So my last one, number 5, is where I talked about honey dipping or honey potting, whatever you want to call it, where you go in and you scoop your juices out and you go on the outside. The only thing is, with our natural lubrication, it dries like that. The only thing with saliva is that it dries like that. The great thing about lube is that it gives you one application, especially if it's silicone. If it's water-based, swallow, Miranda. If it's water-based, then you might need to apply it a couple more times. However, that being said, the pleasure is heightened and it is so good. And if you are a penis owner and you're watching this and you're like, lube is meant for dried up ladies, it's not. You need to grow the fuck up and you need to give yourself an HJ or BJ with fucking lube on, because you're about to have your mind even blown more than it was before all of my tips and tricks came out. Okay, so yeah, if you are a lube shamer, just like we don't have space for you. We have space for everybody except for the lube shamer and like other shitty people too. But the lube shaming is in groups with the shitty fucking people. Okay, I am sorry, YouTube, I swore again. I won't let it happen ever again. Just kidding. I probably will swear a few more times. But anyway, so now that you have my 6 tips to becoming clitorate or being the clit whisperer, it's time that you bring them into the bedroom, and hopefully you're like good to go after watching this video, because I mean, like, I gave you lots to think about. I gave you lots of different sensations to mess with, such with F with. I just want you to have a good time, and I want you to feel the pleasure, and I want the penis owners to know how to please the vulva, especially our magic bean, which is our lovely behold clitoris that is on the outside but also wraps into the inside. So if you like this video, or thought that you know somebody who likes this video or will like it, fucking share it, homie. Share the video, give it a thumbs up, and do not forget to subscribe. And I will see you next week, babies. And I might have some really, really, really exciting news for me and potentially for you. Let's see if the news comes in by then. Okay? I love you.